All right, before we even dream of looking at charts or talking about strategies, we have to tackle something way more important. We have to talk about your mindset. Seriously, think of this as a critical system update for your brain. We're going to lay the groundwork for real clarity, actual knowledge, and a professional strategy that has a fighting chance.
So, what's the number one thing that absolutely destroys most traders? I'll tell you what it isn't. It's not a bad strategy, and it's not just bad luck. The real killer is a false definition. Most people walk into this game with a completely broken idea of what trading even is, and that, right there, is the root cause of almost all failure.
And this gets right to the heart of it. The problem isn't that you picked the wrong indicator on your chart. It's that your whole mental model, the way you even think about trading, is probably built on a mountain of social media hype and myths. And you know what that leads to? Totally false expectations about what's supposed to happen. So what we're doing here today is a mindset calibration. We are realigning your thinking with the professional reality of the market. So how does this actually play out? Well, every single person who steps into the market faces a fundamental choice, whether they realize it or not. You're either going to be an operator or you're going to be a gambler. Every decision, every click pushes you down one of those two paths.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. The gambler, they're running on pure emotion. They're fueled by hype they saw on Twitter, and they're chasing the thrill of getting lucky. But the operator, well, they're driven by a cold, hard process. They think in terms of probability. Their entire world revolves around risk management, and their focus is on building a skill. It's like they're running on a completely different operating system.
And you know what? It all boils down to the very first question you ask yourself. The gambler stares at a chart and asks, will this specific trade make me money? That's all about ego, right? It's about needing to be right on this one thing. But the operator, they ask a totally different question. Does this setup meet my non-negotiable rules and have a positive statistical edge over hundreds of trades? See the difference? One's a guess, the other is a calculated business decision.
All right, so let's really break down what it means to be an operator. This is their protocol, the set of non-negotiable principles that defines what professional trading actually is. Okay, this is absolutely crucial. Trading is a probability-based decision process. It is not about being right on any one trade. Forget that right now. It is about having a small mathematical edge that you apply over and over and over again. Your goal isn't to win this next trade. It's to flawlessly execute your system hundreds of times. This chart shows it perfectly. Look at all those individual wins and losses, the red and the green. They look totally random, right? Because any single trade is just noise. It's random. But over time, if you have a real edge, that blue line, your equity curve, starts to grind upwards. Your edge isn't magic. It's pure math.
Now this might be the most important rule of all. Trading is risk management first, profit second. Your number one job before anything else is to protect your capital. Why? Simple. You can't play the game if you run out of chips. And the only thing in this entire chaotic market that you have 100% control over is how much you lose when you're wrong.
This right here, this is the institutional playbook. It's the exact order a pro thinks in every single time. Number 1, invalidation. Where is my idea proven wrong? Number 2, loss calculation. Okay, if I'm wrong, how much money do I lose? 3, risk to reward. Is the potential gain worth taking that specific risk? And only after all 3 of those are answered do they even think about number 4, entry.
Okay, pop quiz. You see a coin going absolutely vertical, just a beautiful parabolic move. You can feel that FOMO, that fear of missing out, just screaming at you to jump in. But you look at the chart and you honestly can't find a clear, logical place to say, this is where I'd be wrong. So what's the professional move here?
For the operator, the protocol is crystal clear. Risk management comes first. Their first question is always, where am I wrong? If there's no good answer, there's no trade, period. The gambler, on the other hand, is blinded by all that potential profit. They let FOMO make the decision, and that's just a fancy word for gambling.
Which brings us to our next big principle. You see, the real work of trading, the actual trading part, happens before you ever click buy or sell. A real trade isn't some impulse decision. It's a contract you make with yourself when you're calm and logical, before the market's chaos has a chance to mess with your head.
So what's in this contract you're making with yourself? These 5 pillars. You need a clearly defined entry, a rock-solid invalidation point, specific exit logic, a mathematically correct position size, and a firm risk limit. And let me be clear, if you're trying to figure any of this out while you're in a trade, you're not trading, You're just reacting emotionally, and that's a recipe for disaster.
All right, so now that we have a solid idea of what trading is, it's just as important to be ruthless about what it isn't. We need to do some enemy recon. We're going to deconstruct the myths and traps that make up the gambler's fallacy.
Let's just get this out of the way crystal clear. Trading is not gambling. Gambling is all about a random outcome, it's a form of entertainment, and the house always has the edge. Trading is about a repeatable process, it's a business, and it's built on a risk-controlled edge that you create. They are fundamentally different things. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? If you trade to feel lucky or chase excitement, you have left the lab and entered the casino. It doesn't matter if you're using fancy charts. If your motivation is that emotional thrill, you might as well be pulling a slot machine lever.
Okay, next scenario. A coin is just in a total free fall, dumping like crazy. And you get that little voice in your head, that gut feeling that says, this is it, this has to be the bottom. It just feels so right. What does the operator do? Do they dive in and try to be the hero who catches the falling knife?
Here's the difference. The operator knows that the market rewards reacting to what's happening, not predicting the future. They don't need to be first, they just need to be right. So they wait for proof, for confirmation. The gambler, they fall right into the ego trap of prediction. It's not about making money anymore, it's about being the one who called the bottom. And that ego will stop them from cutting their loss when they're inevitably wrong.
So let's make this a personal gut check for a second. If your trading feels like a roller coaster, if it's exciting, fast-paced, maybe even a little addictive, that's not a good sign. That's a huge red flag. It's a symptom that you're either way over-leveraged, your position size is too big, or you just don't have a plan. Real professional trading is methodical, it's repetitive, and honestly, it's often kind of boring. All right, we've covered a lot of ground. We've defined what trading is and what it isn't. Now it's time for the final step. It's time to take everything we've talked about and boil it down into a simple, actionable code of conduct.
This is it, the operator's code. I want you to burn these 5 truths into your brain. 1. Losses are just the cost of doing business. 2. Choosing not to trade is a powerful, strategic decision. 3. Being wrong is totally acceptable, staying wrong is not. 4. Discipline will always beat raw intelligence. And 5. Consistency will always beat short-term excitement.
Okay, so this all comes down to you, right now. Before you even think about the next step, you need to make a conscious commitment. Can you honestly check these boxes? Can you truly explain trading as a process, not a lottery ticket? Do you fully accept that losses are a normal part of that process? And are you committed to building a real skill, not just looking for a shortcut? This is your entry ticket.
All right. If you followed along and you're nodding your head, then congratulations. Consider your foundation set. Your mental framework is now in sync with the professional reality of the markets. Mindset calibration complete. Now you're finally ready to build on that foundation.